open borders, shameful abandonment, disregard for human life, the prospect of more mandates and lockdowns, and the list goes on. Now more than ever, we need to stick together. Voting alone is not enough. We must use our dollars to support like-minded companies that fight for our rights and beliefs. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider who shares your values. Last year, we gave more than $500,000 to conservative causes. With your support, we'll give more than $1.5 million this year. It's time to band together and support companies that truly love America and fight for our freedoms. Will you join us?
Voice Radio, covering the latest state and local issues with Tom Fallbush, Bob Scott, and Jim Waters.
Good morning. Welcome to Kentucky's Voice. I am Debbie Robbins, and I'm so excited to have you here on this beautiful Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. I love that all of our listeners out there at 9:70 a.m. The Answer are with us. And those of you later who hopefully will catch us on WBNA or on YouTube or Facebook, thank you for being here. We have a great show planned for you today. I'm excited to be here with my co-host, Bob Scott. We've got two fantastic guests today, don't we, Bob? We've got Richard Nelson. He's with Commonwealth Policy Center. He is an expert on all things Kentucky politics, local and on the state level. And on the bottom half of the hour, I'm thrilled to have not only a personal friend, but a beautiful lady who is going to compete in the local arena. She wants to be on the Jeffersontown City Council, and her name is Cynthia Kennard. You are going to love her, and I can't wait. But, you know, again, as I've been saying for the past few weeks, and Bob and I agree on this, we're living in some serious historic times, aren't we, Bob?
Absolutely. And
yeah.
It's now time. If you haven't been paying attention, you need to start paying attention, because
exactly.
Lots and lots of moving parts going on. And our two guests today, and especially Richard, he's a former colleague of mine, and I had the privilege of working for his organization several years ago. Not saying just because I work for them, but they are, in my opinion, one of the foremost conservative organizations. As far, I call them think tanks,
yes.
and policymakers, you know, within our state. And in fact, I know Richard had at one time received a rating as one of the top 5 lobbyists.
Wow.
In the state by Kentucky. I think it was Kentucky Today that did.
It's actually the Herald Leader, Bob, of all people. Mike Seaton, Herald Leader.
He's already chiming in. I love it. I love it. Hey, listen, I wanted to, before we get into the show, because we're going to come back after the break, I want to remind everybody that we are not going to give up. We don't care what's going on in this world. We are a conservative Christian audience. We want you to participate today at 502-571-0970. But Dan Bongino is one of my favorite people on the planet. And he gave us a very strict reminder this week about not giving up. So, Mr. Producer Dan, would you let that video roll? And veterans, you're going to love this. And Americans, listen up. Kentuckians.
You guys see this video? You want to be inspired? Well, why I always tell you, like, I'm not giving up. If we win or lose the midterms, I'm still not giving up. If we win or lose the presidency in 4 years and the midterms, I'm still not giving up. Why? Because I'm not giving up. There's no giving up. There's only the fight. That's all you have. You have one life. That is it. When you're done, you're done. This is a Marine named Mike Egan. If you haven't seen this video, hat tip Colin Rugg. Marine combat veteran Mike Egan, of course, missing his lower limbs. He's racing for 27 hours, traveling more than 110 miles in a wheelchair at the G1M Ultra. Egan was seen getting out of his wheelchair at one point due to the mud, the wheelchair getting stuck in the mud.
You're good.
The Go One More Ultra is a race which contestants run a 4+ mile loop every hour on the hour until only one person remains. Egan placed in the top 28, outlasting 117 people with no legs. You want to give up? Oh, someone tweeted at me.
You are amazing.
I'm upset.
Keep it up.
He lost the congressional race. Donald Trump put a tweet up. It's really mean. Look at this guy. He doesn't have legs. He lost his limbs. He's a Marine combat veteran. and he outlasted 117 people in an endurance race without even his own wheelchair. And you're giving up because Donald Trump sent out a mean tweet.
We are not giving up. We are not. And you know, us as a conservative Christian audience, my friend here gave me Ecclesiastes 9:11, and it says, to those of us not giving up, the race is not to the swift or the battle to the strong, but it is he who endures to the end who shall be saved. So when we come back, we've got two phenomenal guests. Richard Nelson will be with us first. Call us 502-571-0970. This is Kentucky's Voice. We'll be right back.
kyvoice.org.
Hey y'all, Richard Nelson here with the Commonwealth Policy Center, and I just finished moderating a candidate forum for the 4th District congressional race between Thomas Massie and Ed Gowring. I'm in Northern Kentucky, by the way, but had a good forum. Thomas Massie, current congressman, did show up. Ed Gowring did not. But I wanted to mention to y'all that this forum will be uploaded to our website soon, hopefully within the next, we'll just say soon. If you're not getting our email updates, go to CommonwealthPolicyCenter.org and you can sign up to get our updates, which we're going to send out an update later in the week with that forum, along with candidate comparisons. Those can also be found on our website as well. All right, y'all, hopefully you're having a good Saturday afternoon. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Welcome back to Kentucky's Voice, and we are so excited to have Richard with us today via Zoom. So, Bob, take it away. Tell us about your friend, and let's get this discussion going.
Well, they don't make him any better than Richard Nelson. He has been a consistent voice, and let me say that again, a consistent voice for Christian conservative principles in our state. There's so much that he has gotten done behind the scenes that people don't even realize. I just found out myself, that before we went to break, Richard had said that it was actually the Lexington Herald Leader. And how often does this happen? One of the most, let's just say, liberal rags in our state even acknowledged Richard's effectiveness and being one of the top 5 lobbyists. But Richard is so much more than just being a lobbyist. I mean, he really works behind the scenes to first of all, listen to people and do the things, that need to be done with regard to moving, those Christian conservative principles forward. And again, welcome to the program, Richard. We don't have a lot of time with you today, just 2 segments. But again, it's a pleasure. You've hosted for me many times. Yeah. So you're no stranger to what we're doing. But again, thanks for being with us today.
Bob, it's always good to be on the program with you. And I was just trying to think, the last time I was on was sometime last year. It's been too long, and it's always good to be on the program with you. For the viewers and the listeners who are not familiar with me or the Commonwealth Policy Center, we started back in 2012 with the goal to recruit, train, and help elect principled conservatives to serve in our state legislature. Those candidates who are pro-life, pro-religious freedom, pro-man-woman marriage, and pro-fiscal integrity. Those are the kind of people that we wanted to serve in our state legislature. We still continue on with that mission as well. That's why we're doing candidate comparisons. We have comparisons for every state house, state senate, and the congressional races. They're on our website right now. You can find out who's on the ballot and then where they stand on the issues. You can go to CommonwealthPolicyCenter.org to find that. Bob, another thing that we've been doing is moderating candidate forums. We've been moderating forums all across the state, from everything from the county level races to the U.S. congressional races. And as you saw that just the little snippet a few minutes ago, I was in Northern Kentucky on Saturday moderating a forum for the congressional race there. Earlier that day, we were in Clark County, moderated a number of county level forums, and then the state house race in that area. Was just asked to do a forum in Montgomery County for the state house, U.S. Senate, and congressional race there. And these are one way that it's one way that I think voters and people can know who's on the ballot and then where they stand on the issues. Bob, we'll have links to our forums on the CPC website as well. So, one thing too, it's important to add that if you look at the news and see what's happening, there's a lot of discouragement. There's a lot of bad things that are on the horizon, things that make us frustrated. And I would encourage we need to be aware. Look, we should be aware of what's happening in the news. There's a lot at stake. But I would encourage the listening audience to look to the Lord. I think of the psalmist who said, when David said, "Where does my help come from?" He says, "My help comes from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth." And when we have our eyes fixed on the right things, it gives us confidence, it gives us hope, it gives us strength and stamina. And in this day and age, if we take our eyes off the Lord, and if we look kind of like when Peter saw Jesus walking on the water, when Peter saw Jesus and kept his eyes on Jesus, he was able to walk on the water. But when Peter began to look at the waves and felt the wind, he became scared, and then he began to sink. And friends, when we look at the waves around us, so to speak, and take our eyes off the Lord and on who he is and on the calling he's placed in our lives to be salt and light, to be people of truth, people that influence the culture, people to live our lives with principles of justice and integrity and mercy. When we fail to do that, then we find ourselves sinking. And that's my word of encouragement to all of those who are tuned in right now. Keep your eyes on the Lord, look to him, be sustained and strengthened by him, and then see what he will do.
I agree.
Yeah. Amen, Richard. And it is, and again, we have about a little over 5 minutes to go in this segment, and I don't want to appear that I'm rushing, but I am rushing because so much to be said and discussed with regard. And I will say, I'll put in a little plug for the candidate breakdowns that you guys do, second to none. It really is a great way for the voting audience to get an idea of what each candidate in a specific race, what they stand for, what they believe, and you do it based upon factual information. You're just not taking a off the cuff, look at it. It's something that you and your team dig very deeply into, you take very seriously, with regard to it. Now, one of the things I'm going to ask is, you've never really endorsed in a primary race with regard, unless it's just something very obvious that you need to endorse in. And is that still the case with regard to these upcoming elections?
That is, the CPC does not endorse in the primaries. And we've had these internal discussions, Bob, about at what point do we start endorsing? Because there are candidates in the primaries who really are, there's some who are very principled and strong conservatives, and there are some who are just not. But what we do is, with our candidate comparisons that you're probably looking at, it looks like on our website right now, we think that those comparisons provide enough contrast so that voters can look at it and say, this guy shares my values, that person doesn't. I know who I'm going to vote for. In the Republican primaries especially, voters are very conservative, and they're looking for the most conservative candidate. And I think when you look at many of our comparisons on our website, you will see that contrast. Not all. There are some races, like the U.S. Senate race. By the way, all 4 of the top candidates did respond. And you're going to see that their answers, I think, to the person, they're identical. And we've got close to 20 questions or topics there. And you're going to see they all line up. But this is why we do candidate forums. That's why I'm doing interviews of those candidates as well. We plan to interview the candidates and make them available on the CPC website also.
Okay, real quick, because again, now we're a little over 3 minutes to go. You just had this discussion forum up in Northern Kentucky last Friday. Ironically, Carolina and I ran into your wife, Bobby, at Costco in Lexington.
Yeah, it was so good to see you there.
Once in a million years meeting, but just talk a little bit about 2 things. The race itself with regard to the importance of these forums. And I know that there's a picture that's been circulating around of Massie shaking Ed Gowrain's invisible Ed Gowrain, who was invited to be there. And as far as I know, he has failed to attend any forum, / debate. In fact, Mr. Producer just put that picture up of Thomas Massie and the empty seat of Ed Gowrain. And again, we're not making here any endorsements, but how important is it to show up for these debates? I think personally it's critically important because that's where voters get a chance to learn more about you as a candidate.
Yeah, that candidate forum, Bob, was sponsored by 3 significant groups in Northern Kentucky. It was at the Erlanger branch of the Kenton County Public Library, and the Boone County Republican Party, the Northern Kentucky Young Republican Party, and the Northern Kentucky Tea Party hosted that event. They had asked me to moderate that forum, which I was honored to do. Both Thomas Massie and Ed Gowrain were invited. Ed Gowrain chose not to attend. We double checked with him that morning just to make sure his schedule was accommodated. I need to say that. But I wanted to see if anything had changed to see if he might be able to attend.
Did he give a reason? Did he give a reason? That's what I want to know.
No, he did not. The early reason, the first time he was invited, and this was put together over a month ago when the groups came up with the idea, and they offered a number of dates, and they were told for this last date that they landed on, he had a previous event just down the road, and so they said, okay, we'll schedule it for after that event so you can come. Even after accommodating his schedule, he still chose not to attend. To Bob's question, Bob, it is very important that candidates show up when there is a forum or a debate. The reason why is because voters they want to get to know the candidates. They want to hear them think on their feet. They want to see how they respond to different questions. And unfortunately, Ed Gowrain has not engaged that. This is an interesting race. If I could just add quickly, Gowrain was recruited by Donald Trump to oppose Ed Massie, who's very popular in Northern Kentucky. But Massie has voted against a couple of key provisions. The Big Beautiful Bill last year was one. The Epstein Transparency Act was another. And a lot of money is being poured into it to unseat him. And that's why this forum would have been so
and
good for him to
Richard, we're going to talk more as soon as we get back. And please call us, 502-571-0970. We'll be right back.
back to Kentucky's Voice Radio online at kyvoice.org.
Welcome back to Kentucky's Voice. We are so excited to have Richard Nelson here today from Commonwealth Policy Center, and he's such a great patriot, great Christian man. Hey, Richard, we were talking about the Massey Galrain Forum. You have any further thoughts? And let's continue conversation.
You know, it was a great forum, packed house at this public library in Erlanger. Thomas Massey is an interesting congressman, probably one of the most conservative congressmen there. I found it fascinating. The forum was almost an hour and a half long, where it's just me pitching questions to him since Ed Galrain did not show up. But he was very transparent. He was very clear on where he stood on the issues. He has a sense.
You
of
even
humor.
asked him some tough questions too, right?
I did ask him some tough questions, you know, and so Bob, to that point, since you brought it up, I asked him about his position on the sanctity of human life. I brought a quote out from when he first ran. He said that Roe v. Wade was one of the worst judicial decisions ever. He said that he's pro-life. And I had asked him this: well, what do you think about exceptions other than to save the life of the mother? And he is 100% pro-life, Bob. He acknowledged that there are tragic circumstances where a child is conceived, but he also saw that as a human life that is worth protection. And we talked about Israel. We talked about the war in Iran. We really went deep with not just domestic issues, but international issues, the War Powers Resolution that he introduced. One of the most poignant things he said, though, I think he's taking it in stride with the fact that the president did recruit a candidate to run against him. He said that he doesn't work for the president, nor does he work for the Speaker of the House, but he works for the people of the 4th Congressional District. And that really sunk in with me and with the audience that, hey, that's true. Congressmen and women represent people in that district. And Thomas Massey has gotten reelected by huge margins time and again. He's articulate. He is principled. He's a constitutionalist. Not everybody agrees with everybody. It doesn't matter who your person is or who the person you favor. But one thing that Thomas Massey is true to is he lands on certain principles, and that's resonated well with people in the district.
Well, I'm going to have to jump in here because, you say you're not endorsing, and I get that.
Yeah.
But, I remember him saying originally, too, he got approached immediately when he made it into Congress from the congressional committee saying, okay, you have to raise X amount of dollars. And he said, no, I'm only going to raise for me, for whom I represent. I appreciate that. But he's gotten a lot of criticism this year for taking money from, foreign entities or people that are from other countries that do not agree with our values whatsoever. He's been accused of having bots, paying for bots to argue with people that are against him. So he's just done some things that have really disturbed me. And to me, I agreed with you in the beginning. Yes, I thought he was great, conservative, very principled man. But when you get to a point where you're an obstructionist and you're not going, you have to think outside of the box further than your own district. Because even when I talk to Senator John Thune, do I not have a right to say to John Thune, hey, I want you to pass the Save America Act just because I live in Kentucky? So I'm wanting Massey to open his eyes and say, sometimes his stubbornness has gotten him in trouble, and that's why he has a challenger, whether we like the challenger or not, whether or not
we
you
got
like that
a lot
the
of
president
questions
did that.
coming in, so we need to hear more.
Help me there. Or did he answer? Yeah. Did he answer anything about the monies and where he got them from? Did you ask those questions?
And what you bring up, I think, are questions that other people have. And what I was able to do is to pull up attack ads against him, and I rolled it out. I read some of it just right off the script. Hey, what about this charge or that criticism? And he addressed them very well. And I would encourage listeners and the viewers to go to the Commonwealth Policy Center website to get a link there. It's on the very top. It says election resources, but you will see some of the charges. Unfortunately, in the political world today, and this is nothing new, there's a lot of, there's half-truths, there's outright lies, there's falsehoods, there's misrepresentations.
Yes.
And I was able to roll some of this out. One of the things he did say about receiving money from foreign entities. And it was in relation actually to one significant and influential group that donates to candidates. He's not taken money from them, and nor does he plan to. But in principle, I'm not aware of the charges about him taking money from foreign entities. In principle, what it appears to me is that he is opposed to that across the board.
Well, I've seen the financial records. We pulled them up, and I saw and they may not be from a foreign country, but they're foreigners that live in Texas that are a family that are they are not Republicans. They're not conservatives. So it's right there on his donation page. So I would have loved to have had him answer that question. Why? Why did he take those funds? Why?
Yeah, and I'm not aware of that particular situation, but
I
think
that's
a valid.
I think
it's a valid question, and I think that when you look at some of the issues that are playing in that race, it has drawn national attention. By the way, to your point, you do see people from across the country donate to a congressional campaign. That is typical. It's happening. Ed Gowring is getting support from out of state. There's an important
out of country too, I might add, but we don't have time to go into that.
Right, I understand.
A significant amount of money.
There are political action committees that are very involved with this race as well, and the money that goes to them, that's up to that PAC. But the candidates themselves have no control over the messaging and over how they're trying to communicate with the voters.
And that's a good
can
point
return the money.
That people don't realize that the PAC pretty much, the candidate really technically is not supposed to have any conversations with the political action committee, correct?
That's right.
Well, but the personal donations I saw on the Massey page are personal. He could return that money because those people are anti-American.
I would encourage this because, and I'll just say this, and I am not endorsing, I have not taken a side. But here's one of the problems I have with this. There's just a lot of smoke, and when there's a lot of smoke, there's confusion. I would even go back to that campaign finance page or that document, and I would actually look it up to make sure it's actually the Federal Election Finance Committee, because stuff is made up, and I see this regularly where stuff is made up. The one thing I have I guess I'll just leave it at that. We could really go down and talk about
the rabbit hole.
But Bob said,
let me get to a couple questions that have come in. One is there's only one candidate who has taken money from a foreign lobby, and that's Ed Gowring. Basically, all his support comes from the Israel AIPAC lobby. Another one is a lot of personal remarks here. I'm not going to get. One person said Bob rocks. I don't know about that.
He does.
I got to laugh at that. And Debbie, I guess to you real quick, the chapter and verse from Ecclesiastes you mentioned earlier, and has Massey changed his mind on the border and his issues with illegals?
I'll respond. That was one of the questions I asked him. There was a negative ad that was attacking him, saying that Massey was against the border wall. He was for illegals coming in, and he unpacked that. And here's how he responded. I'll get to the abbreviated version. Was that he's for a border wall. He is against illegals coming in. He is for ICE. He wants to root out those who do not belong in this country to be sent back to their own countries. But there was it was rolled into another bill where other bad policies. I think it had to deal with increased spending and some other things that were in there. So it's easy to cherry pick and to pull things out of a broad bill and say, well, this person's against this issue because he voted against the bill. And that happens at the state level as well. But that's how he responded to that. And I encourage people to go to the Commonwealth Policy Center page and check out.
But what I want to know is, would he, in a pinch, if we were able, even in this slim majority, to not need his vote, but if we really, really did, would he defend America? Even if it went against his principles. It's a catch-22. Wow, this is a fascinating discussion. Don't go away. We'll be right back. This is Kentucky's Voice, your voice.
Now, back to Kentucky's Voice Radio, online at kyvoice.org.
Welcome back to Kentucky's Voice. And once again, we want to thank Richard Nelson from the Commonwealth Policy Center. I have great respect for the work he does. What an amazing job he does to help us identify great conservative candidates that stand for our values. And Bob, thank you so much for getting him here. And you said we're going to get him back, right? We're going to have him back.
Yeah,
on.
100%. I know, and our next guest is absolutely awesome and incredible too.
Yes.
Next time, I think what we'll do, everybody, is bring Richard back for an entire show.
Yeah.
There is, again, in my humble opinion, there's not anybody in our state that understands the ins and outs of conservative politics and not conservative politics and the things that are going on. So we're blessed as a state to have somebody like Richard Nelson and as Christians.
Oh, yes. And I love that he said he did a candidate forum for us or helped train candidates, so
well,
he's
let me just
skill.
say this, and I can share this about him because he's not here right now, but when I got deathly ill several years ago, not that long ago, but I was literally close to death's door.
I remember.
And I had already left the Commonwealth Policy Center and really enjoyed my time there. And obviously, Richard and I have remained good friends, but he came to visit me several times in my hospital room.
Wow.
Just to check on me. And another step further, when our family, when you're in a position like that, it's hard to make ends meet and put food on the table. And he and his wife, Bobby, made up, and this happened several times, just absolutely scrumptious meals and delivered them to our doorstep, and
those are the people, that's the salt of the earth. That's who we love.
Yes.
That's why I love this audience. I love our Christian conservative values, and God bless Richard and his wife. And And I can't wait till we have him back. And you know what, Bob? I'm excited because I know you know our next guest as well. We have an absolutely beautiful lady. I've known her, I will say, kind of all my life, right? So we're going to introduce her. There she is. Beautiful
Yes.
Cynthia Kennard. She is like me. We were born and raised in Jeffersontown, Kentucky, which in my humble opinion and hers is the most beautiful city and the most historic, the most amazing hometown in the state of Kentucky. And Cynthia, who we both are Christian singers and speakers, we've been on the platform together many times making music, but we both have a passion for our country, for our state, for our local community, for young people. And I wanted her on today because she made a big decision this year to say, I'm going to run for Jefferson Town City Council. I want to be a part of the inner workings of my city. So Cynthia, welcome to the show. And I'm just going to start you off with a question right away. What motivated you to run for Jefferson Town City Council? And Bob and I want to hear all about it, and we're excited to have you here.
Well, the thing that really motivated me is that I have been in Jeffersontown all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I've worked in the community, been very involved in the community, and I thought, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why not get in there, dig my heels in, and let's make a better difference,
Yes.
for our community. My grandparents were very vital to Jeffersontown community, and that's an incredible legacy that I have. It's like a springing board. Okay, you've been here, you've been involved, so let's be a part of the panel. Let's be a part of the panel that makes a difference.
Exactly. What do you think? I know, you've not been, quote, involved in politics your whole life, but what are some issues in Jeffersontown? What are 3 things that you see in your own heart, mind, that need to be done in our city to even make it better?
Debbie, I serve on the Board of Ethics Commission. Mm-hmm. I've been on the Board of Ethics since 2022. I have not seen youth programs.
Okay.
Years ago, when we were in high school,
right,
I served on the Jeffersontown Area Youth Council.
Oh, and what happened to the youth council? We need one.
We need a youth council.
Yeah.
It concerns me that our youth are not being heard.
Mm-hmm.
There's not an outlet for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's not political involvement for them.
Right.
And we have a phenomenal police department.
Yes, we do.
And I just feel like that.
And fire department.
Fire department. Yes, we do. Our
Yes.
city is incredible.
Yes.
The businesses there are thriving.
Yes.
But what about the youth in the community?
Right.
What are we doing?
Right. I think part of it, when we were growing up, this is a different issue, but I think
Mm-hmm.
the busing issue kind of ruined us because even though, we tried to fix what we thought was a racial issue, but instead it ended up in a lot of ways ruining our community schools.
Yeah.
And even though I want racial equality, I want everyone to be treated the same. It doesn't matter to me what the color of your skin, it's the color of your heart.
Yeah.
Because, if you're evil, you're evil. It doesn't matter. If you're
Right.
good, you're good. It's the heart. But I think not being able to have that community feeling of the schools, that's kind of difficult. But that doesn't excuse us from still not going the extra mile, finding other ways to reach out. I agree with you totally.
Debbie, I have been brainstorming since I thought about becoming a council member. How many council members visit the school?
Oh,
How are you present?
right.
How are you making yourself available
Mm-hmm.
to the schools?
Right.
Saying, hey, we're here to hear you. What do you need? What can we do to facilitate you?
Yes, I think that's
in
great.
certain areas that, the youth can be involved. That's one thing I want to do.
Yeah.
J-Town High School is my alma mater.
Mine too.
I was on, and I tell you what really changed my life is when I got into JROTC.
Oh, right. back in our day, it was
Yeah.
phenomenal. I don't know about the direction today. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's still great.
It's still great.
It's a great program. But I agree. You know, I think too, Cynthia, if our council, I love when I go to events and I see the council people there. I love it.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me to see our councilman, our mayor there, always our fire police, all of our leaders.
Yeah.
But I think if kids were taught civics again, I think we're lacking. We had that discussion the other day talking about civic involvement, just teaching them about
Yes.
why it's important. Why is it important to know who the police are, the fire, the mayor, the city council? What do they do? What are your duties as a citizen? You know, learning to vote. And those are things that young people need to learn early. I agree.
They do need to learn that. They do need to learn that their vote will count. They need to learn that they are very important to our future. Some kids are just living life. They're just going through the motion.
Right.
But when we're visible,
Right. When you were on the youth council way back when, what did you all do? Can you remember specifically some of the activities?
like when they would have council meetings,
Yes.
the youth council would come and they would speak their voice. They would speak what their concerns were
Okay.
as a youth, what we were doing and what we were not doing. And I believe I was under Herb Meyer
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then Danny Ruckriegel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, as
Yeah,
mayors, as the
mayors.
mayor. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were the mayors that I sat under
Right.
as being on the area youth council.
I remember. And I'm sorry I interrupted you earlier. You were
That's
talking
okay.
about ROTC. You
Yeah.
said that made a difference. Tell me about that.
That really changed my life because the discipline, the self-discipline, and how they taught self-worth,
Yes.
self-esteem,
Right.
self-image. Your image is everything. How you carry yourself, what you speak, how you treat other people, how you treat your neighbor,
Right.
how to get involved in neighborhood activities, like an elderly that needs her
Yeah.
leaves raked.
We have a great senior center in
Yes.
Jeffersontown, and I would love
Yes.
to see our city
Yes.
council attend there, or maybe a city councilman assigned to that,
Yes.
and young people assigned to that city council person. I don't know how it works, the government of the
Yeah.
city council. If you have, I'm sure you're all on different committees, and that maybe that could become a committee. That would be wonderful.
Yes.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Bob, what do you think? You got any questions
No,
for
I
Cynthia?
say amen. In fact, I have seen Cynthia sing many times at different functions, church functions, and I can tell you she can bring it. I
She
mean,
can.
I put her on the highest quality, and in fact, if y'all ever get a chance to go and hear Cynthia, I would highly recommend it. We are getting some questions coming in, Cynthia.
Okay.
Well, one of the questions, and I say amen to the ROTC thing. My oldest son Luke, who you remember, he went through ROTC in college at UK, and he's now serving our great nation as a second lieutenant.
Oh, okay.
But this question that comes in is: will she commit to banning LGBTQDG,
All the alphabet, the entire
all the
alphabet.
the alphabet soup books and indoctrination? With regard to some of the stuff, garbage that we're seeing that's been rolled out into our public schools.
Yeah. Well, Bob, you know where I stand with that as a woman of God. I believe that things should line up with the Bible and what God says.
Amen.
We don't want to impose on our children, and it's not right.
Yeah.
It's not right as a Christian to have those types of literatures in our schools and impose those types of beliefs on our young minds.
And I don't understand it, Cynthia. I know we only have about a little over a minute to go in this segment, but why? I mean, why even introduce that stuff to kids? When you become an adult and you move on with your life, and if you want to pursue that, that's your business.
Right.
But I do agree with you that it's just there's no place for that in public education.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just overwhelming what
It
these
is
kids have to go
overwhelming.
through, and they need to be taught the basics of life on how to read, write, count, go to the bank, shop, pay your bills. Be able to be a citizen, an engaged citizen, as you were talking about,
Right.
and those are the things.
I just want to make a difference.
Yes.
I want my life and my position as a city council member to make a difference in somebody else's life.
Great. I know. I totally agree. I am so excited to have Cynthia here. She's just such a lovely lady. Oh my goodness. If elegance wins, girl, you've got that. And we are so excited you're here. And so please keep your text coming, 502-571-0970. Don't go away. We're going to be right back with Cynthia Kennard. This is Kentucky's Voice.
Back to Kentucky's Voice Radio, online at kyvoice.org.
Welcome back to Kentucky's Voice. And Bob, did you say there was a question out there for Cynthia?
Yeah, it's kind of a question / comment, but the question is, how have things changed since Mayor Dearf left to run for Metro Mayor? What are your thoughts about that, Cynthia?
Well, I think that the city has sustained itself, and I feel like that we're still growing, we're still being prosperous and productive. I think Carol Pike's doing a good job so far.
Yeah, we've got a lot of projects going on in J-Town. We've got the amphitheater they're trying to finish. Mm-hmm. We've got, what else is going? Well, we had the new police station finished.
It's finished.
It's amazing. And but one thing too, we were talking at the break, Cynthia. Zoning and planning is a big deal to me. Mm-hmm. I love history. I like preserving things. I went to Colonial Williamsburg in Virginia. If you've ever been there, the laws there are so strict on zoning. Everything there that is built must be brick. It's gorgeous. It's breathtaking. You go to that city and just go, oh, because they take great care in planning. Why are you building this? Because that's where a lot of America's history is. Yeah. So in J-Town, I'm worried about that Taylorsville Road that goes all the way to Shelby County. I don't want it to become Dixie Highway, which is nicknamed Dixie Dyway. So what do you think about that? Yeah. So what are your thoughts? And we have a great mayor, but she's also a real estate agent. So she loves growth. She likes that. Mm-hmm. But how are we going to manage all that, corral that? What are your thoughts?
Well, we've actually got a new business that's come to Taylorsville Road, which they're erecting Popeyes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, right next to a coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
A coffee shop, yeah.
Right.
You know, Severn Brew is right there on Hurstbourne Lane.
Right.
All the kids love Severn Brew. They love the coffee. So, yeah, that's great. But You know, Debbie, I just believe, and I really don't believe that J-Town would get to that point of Dixie Dyway. I don't, and I know that our mayor is a real estate agent, but I also know that our mayor loves our city.
Yes.
And that she wants to continue to see our city prosper and see our city grow. And, you know, J-Town's on the map.
Right.
And it's that kind of thing. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I feel like that we'll continue to help our businesses grow.
Yeah, I will say too, I live in an area, you know, I'm right between Jeffersontown and Middletown, right on the line. And Real Road is a road where it's connecting to the industrial park. Real Road's been there since Civil War or prior.
Yeah.
It's too small. We have all these massive trucks that come through. And I know that J-Town is going to be finishing out, you know, Plantside Drive, but it can't come soon enough. And I think that if businesses keep going up, you know, people are going to die. I mean, we had 3 major accidents in 18 months right out in front of where I live. One lady died. And where I live is a community of young people and a lot of seniors. And I don't want my 90-year-old mom, who still is very with it and can drive a car, does a great job. Yeah, you know her. I don't want her pulling out and getting killed because we have just planned too soon and gone crazy. So I hope that if you're on the council, that you just really say, yes, I'm all for growth also. I really am. I just want it to be conscientious and thoughtful and have a plan, not a quick buck for those that get to build, but a real plan. So are you on that same page? How do you think about that?
Debbie, I am on that same page. I am.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. Bob, anything else coming in for us? I've got tons of questions.
Yes, and I'm probably going to butcher this name. I don't live over in that area of town, but made a comment about Popeyes and Seven Brew are not Kentucky wins. I guess they're just saying that they're not Kentucky owned businesses or Kentucky formulated business, which is true. They're national.
Yeah, they're national.
Sunergos, Sunergos, is Louisville owned and Christian. Why not attract them? And they go on to say, commit to Christian and Kentucky local businesses. My own editorial comment is, I think it's great to get any business in there if it's helping to drive the economy. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's what I feel like too. Get the businesses in that will drive the economy up. And I do know that Popeyes is nationally. But we like Popeyes. We like Popeyes chicken.
You know, and what I love about you, Debbie, is I know your heart, and I've heard it. Not besides the fact we've talked incessantly about you being a phenomenal CeCe Winans type of singer, and that's who I compared you to.
You mean Cynthia? Because I would love to be compared to CeCe.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant to say, Cynthia, of course. And you know who I compare you to, Debbie, and that's a compliment. Going back a few years, but you know, the bottom line is we need somebody like you. You know, and I'm not making any kind of formal endorsement, but I know your heart, you know, and you're just an average citizen who cares deeply about your family, your relationship with the Lord, and your community. And that's why I admire you, you know, because you're willing to step into the fray. And I think that that's absolutely critically important right now, you know, and getting in and digging in and learning, you know, as much as you can and doing as much as you can for our community.
I agree. And corralling the young people, the young vote. I mean, God rest his soul, precious Charlie Kirk, you know, TPUSA. I mean, we're all just still grieving our heads off about that. Yeah. But that, you know, if we could just even tap into a tiny bit of that and get these young people on board, because they're the future. And you know, you and I could just blink our eyes and think about our days in J-Town. Can't we? And now, you know, but it's a joy when I see people like you who want to keep pouring in and get on that city council. Things like that can be so cynical, but it's not. This is our city. These are our people. These are our young people, and I'm looking forward to you campaigning and getting out there and getting the word out. Because how many people are on that ballot? You've got 19, right? And how many of you get to progress on?
I believe 8.
8. So only people of J-Town, if you love Cynthia and if you have your other favorites, we have got to, there's 19 people on the ballot. So 19 on the 19th, but you've got to find Cynthia Kennard.
Number 4.
She's running. What? She's number 4. Tell them, hold up that 4 again, girl. 4 number. Come on, guys, shine your dollar there. So number 4 on the ballot, May 19th, Cynthia Kennard. If you love her, Jeffersontown, please vote for her, because there will be 8 people. And then in the fall, how many get selected? So
7.
So only one person will go down in the fall. But Cynthia needs to get on the ballot. And on the 19th of May, you can help her make it to the fall general election. But you've got to vote in the primary. The primaries are crucial. Because I always say on the local level, Cindy, they've got to vote for the person. And on the state level, you vote the issues, and hopefully you've got a good person of character that is there. And then on the national issue, you vote the philosophy. But on the local level, if we get great people to begin with, you can just keep rising on up.
We're here to serve.
Yes.
We're about neighborhood, and that's the way I was raised.
Yes.
I don't know any different, Debbie.
Yeah.
I love my city.
I
love my city. I'm proud of my city.
Yes.
And I want to continue being proud of my city and helping my city grow.
I hear you, girl. I hear
Cynthia
you.
for the city.
Cynthia, oh, that's great. Cynthia for the city. Oh, gosh. I love it. Well, I wanted to say, what is one thing you want the voters to remember about you? So on the 19th, they're going to vote for you. What do you want them to remember?
The one thing I want you to remember is that I'm for you, and I will work for you to make sure you are heard and that our city continues to grow.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Well, Bob, I'm going to do something unusual here today.
Okay.
Because Cynthia and I have been on the platform together a gazillion times singing, but we want to leave our Kentucky Voice family with a little taste of America, of how much we love our America. So let me see if I get this right. And we're going to say, from the mountains
to the prairie,
to the oceans, white with foam.
God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
We love our city. We love Kentucky. And I hope that everybody out there, Bob, help me out. They've got to get out on May 19th, and they've got to vote.
I love that rendition, guys. We need to get that on tape somewhere so we can play it back. But, yes, amen. It's critical again. We talk about it ad nauseum on the program. We need common everyday people that care, that truly care about our people, care about our nation, care about our community, not trying to build their own kingdom, but we need people that are willing to step up. In fact, another comment came in. We need more fathers stepping in. Amen.
Yes.
To that. Boomers and X. Hey, I'm a boomer. Do not understand Generation Z and Generation A young men. Well, guess what? I have a Generation A and Generation Z kids, so I kind of have an idea where they're coming from. But
I do too. I have a Gen Zer.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure and honor to have you on, and you're a blessing. And
thank you.
We wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
In your endeavor. And I want to thank you again for stepping in, Debbie.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Yes, May 19th, everybody. Cynthia Kennard, there she is. Hold up your fours, Cynthia. Let them know you are number four on the ballot out of 19. But if you don't vote on May 19, she may not get to the fall ballot. So you got to vote on May 19. And everybody, on behalf of Bob and myself, we want to thank again Richard Nelson, who is with us today. Cynthia, you're a joy. Thanks for singing with me.
You're welcome.
I got to sing with my very own little CeCe Winans girl here. And, but Kentucky's Voice. This is about you, your voice. Take your state and our love for our country seriously. We're so happy you're here. Join us again tomorrow. We'll be back. Kentucky's Voice.